Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to be looking at XRP, and what we have right now, for those of you who've been watching previous videos as well, is the consolidation, is the fighting for this 1.4 level. Now, what we've said was this was bouncing back on this Fibonacci. We were already expecting this. We knew that even on this day, on Feb 6th, where the price had a 21%, where it broke through the Fibonacci, we knew that it wasn't instantly going to go back up to this 1.77 area. The reason for this was, firstly, we had a major influence, we had a major level at 1.5. We talked about the psychological level. But secondly, it was looking at Bitcoin about the fact that it's not also recovering to its fullest. It's still trying to fight for that 70K area. Yes, it's hovering above 70K, but you can see how throughout the days, during the day, you can see how it's dipping below 70K to 69 to 68-ish. And so we knew that the inflow of capital isn't going to be as great as you think. And then we also have the third reason, which was obviously this 1.4167 level, the negative 38 on the Fibonacci. We knew that it was still going to be acting as an influence. And so that's what we have here. We have the price right now trying to decide whether we should be closing above or closing below to really dictate the movement of, is the price going to be seeing this 1.1, or more importantly, the $1 area, or are we actually seeing it stable? Have we seen the full extent of the sell-off which we saw? And now it's going to be the capital are slowly trying to come back in to obviously take the price level back up to this 1.5 first, and then into the 1.7, and of course higher. And so this is what we've been seeing right now. For those of you who've been watching my videos, you would be reacting to this, you would understand exactly what's going on, and you would have been prepared for this. And so a very important thing right now, and even if we go into kind of the 1 hour, you can still see what we're talking about. Firstly, there is this small resistance coming in at this area. You can see how the sell-off is happening every time we reach this area. You can see the consolidation in the hourly right now with the sellers coming in at this area. So we're seeing this small resistance coming in at 1.4 and closing into that 1.5. I think from this candle here alone as well, you can see that sellers want to take profit at this area. It looks like the people who bought in at around this 1.1 area are waiting, because the first candle, when we saw it go up, we saw the selling, you can see by the wick, we saw the selling at around this 1.5 closing to that 1.6 level. And so the people who were expecting the price to go further, who bought in at a discount, are now waiting. But because they saw it failed and it actually made a bearish structure, where we had a higher high into a lower high into another lower high, they realized that buyers aren't too strong, that there are still sellers, and so they're taking profit as they get closer to that area. And that's why we're seeing this resistance happening where the price is at right now. Furthermore, you can still see from the fact that we're still dipping below this Fibonacci. We're really trying to fight for control. And you can see how when price goes up, it's tapping the Fibonacci. Tap, tap, tap. But then there are times where it goes down, like we've seen here, like we've seen here, but then it goes back up again. And so this is what we talked about with, there is no clear indication of where price is going. What we do know right now is that there are sellers coming in at 1.4. Now, this particular consolidation, we've yet to see before. When you take a look at some of the consolidations over here, they're not that strong. So it seems like in the hourly, there was a fake out to show that buyers are now in full control, because bear in mind, we don't know who's in control right now because of the consolidation. But when we saw the break and we saw the price go down further, they tried to create this illusion of sellers in control. And then they took the price back up, where now we're seeing this consolidation without the fact that when we did touch 1.4, we haven't seen the price bounce back to the Fibonacci. And so right now we're looking at a very high likelihood, or at least in comparison to previous, where we can see another attempt going in towards that 1.5. And just like we've said, this 1.5 is very pivotal, because if we are able to break it, just like we've seen before, how it determines the price, if we are able to break it over here, we are going to be taking a look at the price of XRP to be going further. I think it's really interesting to see what the price action we're seeing at this level right now is, because it really showcases what's going on for the buyers. It showcases how people are willing to buy at a discount, but what they are doing. And seemingly, it looks like right now, anytime we see a dip below this Fibonacci, buyers views it as a discount. The first clue was from this big candle. when you take a look at candles with big wicks, it tells a lot of things. And so I think if you're watching these videos, one big takeaway is learning how these big wicks from these candles showcases what the sentiment is like. Because you can see when we first saw XRP break above this Fibonacci and then break below it, when we see the price go down, it was instantly brought back up. You can see from this candle. Now, yes, every time it has gone below, but when it goes below, it's being brought back up again. When it goes below, it's being brought back up again. And this was already showcased from the candle over here. Now, they did a more realistic job of showing a fake breakout over here, but it doesn't change away from the fact that people are viewing this Fibonacci below as a good discount. And I think this will continue to stay the same for until we see too much resistance. If we're rejecting this so many times, and we've rejected it multiple times, if you want to count at it from here, 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 and here, we've seen it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times already. If this keeps it up, where people then no longer see in the short term, there is a possible way to break above this level, where they don't see a chance as of right now, not to say forever, not to say for a month or two, but at least for a few days in the current time being, they don't see a possibility where we can break above 1.4, go to 1.5 and break above 1.5. Then they will no longer view this current price point, so just below the Fibonacci, as discounts. We may actually be seeing the price go down further for a new area of discounted, because you got to think, these guys, they want to get in, they want to ride the momentum, but if they see no momentum, they won't be willing to buy in anymore. So that's what you got to watch out. As always, now this is Financial Advice, and I'll catch you guys next time.